The world is shifting. The balance of power is no longer confined to the traditional arenas of Europe and the Pacific. A new era of great power competition is upon us, marked by a complex interplay of military might, economic influence, and diplomatic maneuvering. But this time, the battleground is not Europe or the Pacific. It's the Global South, a region rich in resources, culture, and untapped potential. From the bustling cities of Southeast Asia to the resource-rich plains of Africa, a new game is afoot. These regions are becoming the focal points of global strategic interests. The players, the United States and China. Both superpowers are keenly aware that the future of global influence hinges on their ability to win over the Global South. The stakes? Nothing less than global influence and the shape of the future world order. Control over trade routes, access to natural resources, and political alliances are all on the line. The Global South, once relegated to the sidelines of global politics, is now taking center stage. Its countries are no longer mere spectators, but active participants in shaping global dynamics. And both the US and China are vying for its attention, its partnerships, and its vast potential. Through initiatives like China's Belt and Road and America's strategic alliances, both nations are making their moves. This essay will delve into this high-stakes rivalry, examining the strategies both countries employ and the implications for the Global South and the world at large. We will explore how this competition is reshaping economies, altering political landscapes, and influencing the lives of millions. Why is the Global South so important? This question is more relevant today than ever before. The answer lies in its demographics, its resources, and its strategic location. The Global South is a region teeming with life and potential. Home to billions of people, many of whom are young and upwardly mobile, the Global South is a vibrant and dynamic part of the world. This region represents a massive market for goods and services, with a growing middle class that is eager to consume and innovate. It's a goldmine of untapped potential, with cities rapidly developing and infrastructure projects transforming the landscape. Furthermore, the Global South is endowed with vast reserves of natural resources, including oil, minerals, and agricultural products. These resources are not only crucial for the local economies, but also for the global market. They fuel industries, power homes, and feed populations. These resources are essential for powering economies and meeting the demands of a growing global population. The energy and raw materials from the Global South are indispensable. Control over these resources translates into significant geopolitical leverage. Nations that can harness these resources hold considerable sway on the global stage. Finally, the Global South occupies a strategically vital position in the world. Its geographical location makes it a key player in international affairs. It is home to crucial shipping lanes, ports, and choke points that are essential for global trade and security. These maritime routes are the lifelines of global commerce, making the Global South indispensable in maintaining the flow of goods and services worldwide. Enter China, a rising giant with a bold vision for global connectivity. Its ambitious Belt and Road Initiative, or BRI, has become synonymous with China's push for influence in the Global South. Launched in 2013, the BRI is a sprawling network of infrastructure projects. It spans continents, encompassing everything from railroads and highways to ports and power plants. China's strategy is clear: invest heavily in infrastructure projects across the Global South. This, in turn, promotes economic development and strengthens trade ties. It's a win-win, or so it seems. China gets access to new markets and resources. The Global South gets much-needed infrastructure and investment. But is it that simple? The sheer scale of China's BRI is staggering. Billions upon billions of dollars have been poured into projects across Asia, Africa, and Latin America. In Africa alone, China has funded the construction of thousands of kilometers of railways, roads, and pipelines. This infrastructure blitz is transforming landscapes and connecting markets like never before. The impact is undeniable. New railways are reducing travel times and transportation costs, facilitating the movement of goods and people. Ports are being modernized, expanding trade capacities and boosting economic growth. Power plants are being built, bringing electricity to remote areas and fueling industrial development. China's investments are undoubtedly having a transformative impact on the infrastructure landscape of the Global South. Section 5. The price of partnership, debt traps, and sovereignty concerns. However, China's BRI is not without its critics. Concerns have been raised about the sustainability of the debt burden being shouldered by some countries. Critics argue that China is engaging in debt trap diplomacy, using loans to gain leverage over vulnerable economies. Another concern is that Chinese investments often come with strings attached. These projects are primarily undertaken by Chinese companies using Chinese labor and materials. This has raised concerns about limited knowledge transfer and job creation for local communities. Furthermore, questions about transparency, environmental standards, and potential corruption have also been raised. Section 6, the American Way: Aid, Reforms, and Democratic Values. The United States, for its part, has long been a major player in the Global South. However, its approach differs significantly from China's. The U.S. strategy has traditionally focused on providing aid and promoting democratic values, good governance, and human rights. The U.S. provides billions of dollars in development assistance each year, supporting programs in areas such as healthcare, education, and agriculture. It also actively promotes free trade agreements and economic reforms. The aim is to foster sustainable economic growth and democratic institutions in the developing world. Section 7. A helping hand or a shackled one. The debate over conditionality. However, the U.S. approach has also faced criticism. One of the main points of contention is the issue of conditionality. The U.S. often attaches conditions to its aid and investments, requiring recipient countries to meet certain governance, human rights, or economic policy standards. Critics argue that this smacks of neo-colonialism and undermines the sovereignty of developing nations. Furthermore, the U.S. focus on promoting democracy has yielded mixed results. While democracy has taken root in some countries, others have struggled with democratic transitions or backsliding into authoritarianism. This has led to questions about the effectiveness and appropriateness of promoting Western-style democracy as a one-size-fits-all solution. Section 8. Between a Dragon and a Bald Eagle, Navigating the Superpower Rivalry. Caught in the middle of this geopolitical chess game are the countries of the Global South. Many are wary of becoming pawns in a larger power struggle. They are seeking to chart a course that serves their own national interests and development priorities. Some countries have embraced China's Belt and Road Initiative, welcoming the influx of investments and the promise of economic development. Others have adopted a more cautious approach, seeking to balance their engagements with both China and the United States. The ability to leverage both powers to their advantage is crucial for many developing nations. Section 9, a multipolar world in the making. Shifting power dynamics. The competition for influence in the Global South has significant geopolitical implications. It is reshaping global power dynamics and challenging the long-standing dominance of the West. China's rise as a global power is directly challenging the United States' position as the world's sole superpower. The Belt and Road Initiative, with its global reach and ambition, is seen by many as a direct challenge to the US-led economic order. This competition is leading to a more multipolar world, where power is more diffuse and no single country holds absolute sway. Section 10. The future is fluid. The Global South charts its own course. The Global South is not a monolith. It's a diverse region with a wide range of political systems, economic conditions, and historical experiences. As such, there is no single Global South perspective on the US-China rivalry. Each country will need to navigate this complex geopolitical landscape in a way that best serves its own interests and aspirations. What is clear is that the Global South is no longer content to be a passive bystander in global affairs. It is asserting its own agency, seeking to shape its own destiny and forge its own path in the 21st century. Section 11. A new era of global engagement, cooperation, or competition. The US-China competition for influence in the Global South has the potential to be either a source of conflict or an engine for progress. This dynamic is not just about two superpowers vying for dominance, but about the future of millions of people in developing nations. If both countries prioritize their own narrow interests over the needs of the Global South, the result could be instability, division, and even conflict. The stakes are high, as economic decline and social unrest could follow, leading to a cycle of poverty and hardship. However, if the US and China can find ways to cooperate and work together, the Global South could benefit immensely. Joint efforts in infrastructure, education, and healthcare could transform lives and create a foundation for long-term prosperity. A collaborative approach could lead to sustainable development, poverty reduction, and improved living standards for millions of people. By pooling resources and expertise, the US and China can address critical issues like clean water access, food security, and education. The future of the Global South, and indeed the world, may well depend on whether the US and China choose competition or cooperation. The path they take will shape not only their own destinies, but also the global landscape for generations to come. The choice is clear: work together for a brighter future or risk the consequences of rivalry.